Athena, daughter of Zeus, aka the daughter of a massive piece of shit, and so unsurprisingly, Athena grew up to be a proper CUN.
Whoa, hey.
I'm not insulting anybody, chill. Did you know that the word CUN to the T is actually historically associated with the powerful and near divine Hindu figure Kunti and the feminine energy Kunda, also known as Shakti, also known as the personification of the divine mother and the name of the fundamental energy of creation without which the universe would be formless. Huh?
Who would have thought? Not me.
And even in the West, the now scandalous C word is linked to powerful words like country, kin, and cunning, and the Roman goddess Cunina, a powerful deity that protected children in their cradle. Yeah.
How do you like them apples?
So, what happened? Why did the C word turn into the worst of insults? Well, short version, patriarchy. Longer version, patriarchy and religion and all female goddesses being denounced in favor of the almighty him. So that's that on the C word. It's a word whose meaning has changed over time, and you're gonna have to stay tuned to find out whether Athena is a good or an evil yeah, no, see, I can't, even after explaining how it's actually a historical powerful and positive word, it just feels wrong to say, you know, I'm not Australian, I can't pull it off, I can't. See what I did there? On the one hand, Athena is a woman who let her uncle Poseidon rape one of her innocent, beautiful priestesses and then said it was the priestess's fault for being too beautiful.
Oh.
And then, to really drive the shaming home, Athena turned the priestess into the monster Medusa.
Oh.
On the other hand, though, Athena is the goddess that introduced democracy to the world.
Oh.
But on the third hand, Athena was once so jealous of Arachne for being too great of a weaver that she turned Arachne into a spider so that she can weave for the rest of her life.
No.
And then on hand number 4, Athena helped a bunch of heroes do hero things. But then there's that time when Athena killed her best friend Pallas. So where does this ambiguity come from? Maybe it's because Athena's mother was the wise titan Metis, while her father was Zeus, a man that raped so much that once he got bored of raping normal women, he raped his actual mother. Yeah, and then Zeus also raped the woman that was not his biological mom, but who actually raised him, and that woman is also Athena's mom. To be fair, the situation with Zeus' actual mom, Rhea, depends on which myth from which era of the Greek belief system you look at, but in every version, Rhea saved Zeus from his murderous dad. Zeus' father, Kronos, once heard a prophecy that one of his children will kill him one day. So when faced with the decision of avoiding the prophecy by not having children or avoiding the prophecy by eating all of his children, he obviously chose to eat all of his children. Makes sense. Then, after eating his first 5 children, his wife, Rhea's motherly instincts finally kicked in, and she decided to save the next child. That next child was Zeus, and she saved him by feeding Kronos a rock wrapped in a baby blanket instead of the baby. And honestly, if that's all the effort it took to fool the guy, I feel like somebody didn't put in their maximum. But hey, either way, baby Zeus was safe, and Rhea sent him to be raised in a cave far away and hidden from Kronos, and the woman in charge of actually raising Zeus was the Titan personification of wisdom, Metis, who raised Zeus to be a wise man. So naturally, Zeus was so thankful to her once he was fully grown that he raped her.
No, God!
Nah, wait, it gets way more messed up. Metis actually ran away from Zeus because she didn't feel like having sex with the boy she raised, not ever, but especially not on his goddamn wedding day, at his wedding ceremony, where he was already set to marry his sister, Hera.
No, God, please, no! No!
So Metis ran away from horny Zeus, and Zeus left his own wedding to chase her, transformed into a snake, caught up to Metis in a cave, wrapped her up, notably did not wrap himself up, and then against her will got her pregnant.
No!
Then he remembered, oh crap, there was a prophecy that said if I get Metis pregnant, she will give birth to 2 children, a girl and a boy, and the boy will grow up to be greater than me and usurp me. That's a problem. And Zeus had seen that exact movie before, because that was literally the prophecy his father Kronos had gotten, and it came true because ultimately grown man Zeus, once he left that cave, defeated and imprisoned his father and freed his siblings from his father's belly to then take over as the main god, which is what leads us to the aforementioned wedding with his sister Hera, who was said to be the queen of the kings. So now that Zeus had put a baby in Mama Metis' oven against her will, Zeus realized that he very much did not want to be usurped by his son. So he told Metis, hey, remember how I chased you down by transforming into a snake before I assaulted you? Wasn't that fun? And Metis said, you and I have very different ideas of fun. I bet you can transform into a snake. Zeus, I really have other... Can you even shapeshift into a fly? Zeus, I really... Can you? Zeus, I want... Can you? So to shut him up, Metis shapeshifted into a fly, and then Zeus immediately shapeshifted into a lizard and ate her.
Oh, no.
Problem solved. With the prophecy avoided and his little side quest completed, Zeus returned to his wedding to marry his sister Hera and continued ruling the gods as their supreme king. But then, a couple months later, Zeus started having these insane headaches, so bad that he would rather die than to endure them, but it's kind of hard to die as an immortal god, so he asked the god of the blacksmiths to split his skull open. That blacksmith god was of course Hephaestus, who was Hera's son. Note, not Zeus' son, Hera's son, because she had him by herself after Zeus cheated on her a million times on Earth to have a bunch of demigod children, so Hera impregnated herself, had a baby, looked at it, realized it's ugly and that she doesn't like ugly babies, threw it down Mount Olympus where the baby bumped against the rocks to become even uglier, but eventually grew up to be an ugly man with a limp, courtesy of the bumping against rocks, a man that limped back to Mount Olympus and became the god of blacksmiths, Hephaestus. So Zeus asked Hephaestus to split his skull open to see what's causing this headache. And once that skull was open, man, Athena popped out of that thing like Kool-Aid. Oh yeah! She came out ready too. She had armor on, carried a spear, and immediately subscribed to instant gaming so she can save money on all her favorite video games, because she wanted to play all these historical and mythological games that are kind of based on her era, and on instant gaming she could get all of these games way cheaper. Not just for one system neither. Nah, they have discounts for all the platforms, and you can even browse upcoming games to see which game you can save on next. But hey, I know these ads are always ads. It's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Use my code, save money. It's so amazing. Guys, girls, thems, trees, everybody. Instant gaming is actually amazing. I genuinely use it because there's absolutely no reason not to. You usually buy your games from the PlayStation Store or Steam or whatever, right? Why would you pay full price when you can get the exact same game on instant gaming, just cheaper? They give you a code and then you download it officially. Using that code, you download it officially from the Steam or the PlayStation Store or whatever. I really want to drive home that if you're a gamer, using instant gaming is such an obvious no-brainer, and by using it via the link in my bio, you also support the channel with every single game you buy. Just make sure you use that link in the description, and then, I don't know, game all day, just like Athena. And it's not like Zeus had a problem with his daughter gaming all day. For all he cared, Athena could do whatever she wanted because she was his favorite child. I mean, god of all narcissists, Zeus giving birth to his own kid, of course she was his favorite. So he also gave Athena a special title. She became the god of war, which was a bit awkward because Zeus already had a son with Hera, Ares, who was already the god of war, but even the people of Greece preferred Athena over Ares, for she represented the strategic and tactical side of war, while Ares just represented everything ugly and barbaric and violent about it. So yeah, that was a major reason why Ares and Athena never got along and even fought each other during the Trojan War, where Athena laid the smackdown on him twice, but I have a whole video on the Trojan War, so I won't be getting into that here. But it wasn't just Zeus. Everybody in Greece loved and worshipped Athena, and she even got her own city, Athens, which actually that has a story behind it. The city of Athens was once called Kekropia, and back then Poseidon was looking for a city to be named after himself, and he told the king of Kekropia, hey, wouldn't Poseidon city sound a lot cooler than Kekropia? I mean, that kind of sounds like a dead people fetish sexual practice kind of thing, don't you think? And their king said, sure, Poseidon city, if we were into gambling and legalized prostitution, great name. But, Athena already suggested that we call the city Athens in her honor. So then Poseidon said, no, don't do that. Don't go ahead and do that. Because if you name the city after me, I will bless you with a beautiful fountain, Water, how about that? And the king said, bro, we're a harbor city. We're literally by the water and we have tons of fountains everywhere. You're standing next to a fountain, bro. Oh. Also, Athena said she would give us our first olive tree, which means we could put like olives on our pizzas and use olive oil. Olive oil is pretty useful. And man, when you dip the bread in it with salt and pepper. And that's how Athena got Athens named after her and basically became Greece's most popular goddess. But none loved Athena more than her number one worshipper, Medusa. And this is why I want to tell you her tragic tale. So Medusa, the evil snake monster, was actually not evil. In fact, Medusa was just an innocent, beautiful woman, the most beautiful woman walking planet Earth, actually. So hot that even Gaia was all like, girl, step all over me. That's such a nerdy joke, like it's such a mythology joke because Gaia is Earth personified and Medusa is hot. So, step all over me says Gaia, the earth. The point is, everybody, man and woman, was all over Medusa, but this girl was all on her Madonna, like a virgin, except that she was actually a virgin and wanted to be one forever, so nothing like Madonna at all. And if you don't know the reference, it's a song from the 80s, kids. Like cover. Medusa devoted herself to Athena, the virgin goddess of purity, and eventually Medusa moved into Athena's temple full-time to save on rent and worship her all day.
All day.
But the problem was that Medusa was so beautiful that she attracted a crowd of horny dudes creeping outside her temple every day. Enter Athena, the goddess of wisdom, a title she must have forgot for a second because Athena got mad jealous about all the attention Medusa was getting, and that's also where Poseidon enters the story, because remember that Athena and Poseidon already have a bit of a feud going on over her taking Athens from him, so he was always looking for a way to win over or upset his niece. Poseidon noticed Athena's jealousy towards Medusa and he wanted to be the cherry on top by getting on top of Medusa, so he did exactly that. Poseidon forced his way inside Medusa, inside Athena's temple. And since that broke the virgin theme of Athena's sorority club, Athena punished Medusa for it. Her logic, she felt like it was Medusa's fault for being so flashy with her beauty. So Athena turned Medusa into the hideous snake monster we now know. And from then on, as a twist of irony, every man that now looked at the former beauty they once could not tear their eyes away from, now every man that met her gaze had his humanity torn from him and was turned into stone. Hence, why Medusa's island was filled with thousands of stone soldiers who were trying to make a name for themselves by slaying the infamous monster to acquire fame. But in reality, Medusa was just a poor girl who wanted to be left alone. That's why she had fled to that isolated island to live in peace and to not endanger anyone with her curse. And in her isolation, Medusa still worshipped Athena to save her from this fate because she didn't even know that Athena was the one who cursed her in the first place. I mean, how messed up is that? And then, one day, a different breed of hero came to kill Medusa. Perseus. Perseus was the son of Zeus and another woman he violated. Perseus' mom was a woman that was locked away in her tower by her father, who once got a prophecy that his daughter's son would kill him. Yeah, these prophecies were like on every fortune cookie in Greek mythology. The father locked his daughter in a tower so that no one gets her pregnant. But when Zeus heard that, he was like,
challenge accepted.
and in the form of golden rain from the heavens, Zeus impregnated the woman through the tower's only window. Yes, it was history's first golden shower. That woman then gave birth to Perseus, and then her father tried to drown her and the baby by stuffing them in a box and pushing them out into the ocean, but the box got washed ashore on another kingdom, and they were rescued. Problem was that this kingdom's king was mad horny for Perseus' mom and wanted to get all up in there, but she didn't want to have him all up in there, so the king frequently tried to assault her, and Perseus had to protect his mom until one day Perseus tried to make a deal with the horny king. Look, bro, if I slay this famous Medusa monster that's killing all your soldiers, will you leave my mom alone? And the king said, yeah, you can totally trust me that while you're away for months, I'll suddenly become honorable and not assault your mom while you're not here to protect her. And Perseus said, that's all I wanted to hear. Well, I'm off then. Take care, mom. Take care of yourself. And so Perseus left to kill Medusa. And for absolutely no reason, Athena decided to help him kill the innocent woman she turned into a monster in the first place by giving Perseus her golden shield to protect himself from Medusa's glare. Equipped with that, Perseus found Medusa on her isolated island, and he hid behind one of the many stone statues of the failed petrified heroes, peeking around the corners using Athena's shiny shield, and once he saw Medusa's reflection in it, he snuck up on her and struck her from behind like a coward to decapitate her.
Because that's what heroes do.
And today history teaches us that Medusa is a monster and Perseus is a hero. I feel like there's some social commentary in the modern perception of this story that is similar to the modern perception of the C word, and both is related to patriarchy and the historical oppression of women. Just a feeling. I don't know. You tell me in the comments. There, Medusa now was dead, decapitated. But since Poseidon's seed was in her, her blood was divine, and from it, the white horse Pegasus and the golden giant Chrysaor were born. Then Perseus took Pegasus as his own horse, like he literally took the son of the mother he just killed and made it his ride. So after Athena helped Perseus kill the woman whose life she ruined in the first place, she decided to help other heroes out a little bit too. She helped Bellerophon slay a monster that was killing innocent people. She helped Heracles on his 12 labors to redeem himself from his curse, and she helped the great Odysseus to find his way back home to his wife after the Trojan War. But each of these heroes have their own video on my channel, so let me not discuss that now. The point is that Athena did some really good things in helping these heroes, and she did it by being kinder, smarter, and more cunning than the other gods, who generally never met a human they didn't want to use, abuse, or kill. It's important that you know that Athena was on the side of humanity more often than not, until she decided to turn another innocent woman into a monster. Arachne was a woman that had a bit of Kanye West in her. She was the daughter of a weaver, but she was so good at weaving that she proclaimed herself a goddess of weaving.
I just told you who I thought I was, a god.
And then she even started weaving tapestry that was offensive to the gods, and with that, she wove her own fate. Once Athena saw this tapestry, she was like,
That is blasphemous!
So Athena paid Arachne a visit in the form of an old lady, trying to humble the young woman by laying some old people wisdom on her that no human should proclaim herself a goddess or anything of the kind. But Arachne, she wasn't listening. She had already started calling herself Arachnesis and walked around Greece like,
in all the 5 boroughs, I'm known. Forget about it.
Arachne was not to be convinced that her mad skills were not godlike. So then the old lady revealed herself to her as Athena. And this is where the Kanye rapper analogy becomes perfect, because Athena then challenged Arachne to Greek mythology's equivalent of a rap battle. She challenged her to a weaving duel.
It's time
Thing is, there was a reason Arachne was mad confident, because she did have mad skills and she whooped Athena in that duel, but Athena wouldn't accept defeat, so she was all like, "Oh, you like weaving so much, huh? Well, why don't you weave webs forever then?" And Athena turned Arachne into a spider, forever weaving. Now, depending on how God-fearing you are, you might say that Arachne had it coming for insulting the gods, but I think turning a woman into a spider for having an ego, slight overreaction. Athena clearly had some issues with insecurity and jealousy, but interestingly, they were never over men, because Athena decided to keep all that man trouble out of her life. Athena was a forever virgin. Many tried to take her virginity though, obviously. Like, remember ugly-ass Hephaestus with the limp? Yeah, he tried to rape Athena, who, well, technically is not really his sister, because even though Zeus and Hera were married, they each had Athena and Hephaestus without the other. Anyway, it doesn't exactly make it better that Hephaestus tried to rape her. But since Hephaestus had a bum leg and Athena was the goddess of warfare, she fought him off easily, and all he managed to do was jizz on her cloak. So Athena was like, ew, gross, and she threw the cloak down to Earth, aka onto Gaia, the primordial being who represents Earth. And once Hephaestus' semen touched Earth, Gaia became pregnant. Note that Gaia is Zeus's grandmother, so Hephaestus tried to rape his kind of sister and instead impregnated his kind of great-grandmother. Well done, bro. That child of Gaia was Erechtheus, and Athena once again proved her good side by feeling responsible for the boy. And she raised him, she raised him, instilled her wisdom in the child, and turned him into a good man who one day became the first king of Athens. There's no dark side to the story. She did something good. And while we're on good, kind things that Athena did, let's continue on that sentimental note. The closest thing Athena ever had to a lover was her best friend Pallas, the daughter of Triton, who in turn is the son of Poseidon and his wife. Rumors were going around that Pallas and Athena were lovers and scissoring it up on the regular, but nah. Amongst all her titles, Athena was also the goddess of platonic love, which I also was the virgin god of in my 20s when I had a bunch of besties.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Athena's relationship with Pallas was purely platonic, but it was a close relationship nonetheless. Her and Pallas did everything together, and amongst those many things were also regular sparring sessions to grow as warriors. And in one of those sessions though, Pallas, she was beating Athena in a duel with spears, and Zeus just so happened to watch that sparring session, and he got worried for his favorite daughter. Also, his ego couldn't handle his daughter losing to the daughter of his nephew Triton, so to turn the tide of the fight, Zeus, he sent a little lightning spark to stun Pallas before she injured Athena with her next blow. But Athena, she didn't notice that Pallas was stunned and had already set her counterattack in motion, and she struck the stunned Pallas with her spear and killed her. And so, ever since that accident, Athena carried the name Pallas to honor her best friend. That's actually a pretty tragic story, I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of Athena's tragedies come with that kind of a silver lining or a redeeming ending for Athena. For example, once Athena was bathing in a river, and the man Tiresias accidentally saw her bathing naked, which for a virgin goddess, being seen naked is the worst thing that can happen. So in a shock reaction, Athena turned the man blind. But then she realized that was kind of an overreaction, and she felt bad about it, and also gave him powers of prophecy. And ever since, Tiresias could see the future and became an oracle of Apollo, which is kind of super cool. I mean, she could have also just made him see again. I'm just saying. But silver lining, redeeming quality to Athena. And also the stories of Arachne and Medusa that I told you about, where Athena really comes off like a piece of work. These stories were written by the Roman writer Ovid in 8 CE. And while this is a long time ago now, and his versions did become two of the most defining Athena stories, I have to clarify that they are not her initial stories from ancient Greece. This writer, Ovid, in fact, had some serious issues with authority in ancient Rome, with Emperor Augustus specifically, so his writings were decidedly very anti-authority, and he made the gods look bad at every turn, and Athena was one of his greatest victims. But then again, all these stories, his stories, they're just that, they're stories, and I think that if any given story survives for 2,000 years, it has some legit merit to claim it is the definitive version. And that's mostly because the much older tale of Medusa, long before Ovid put his poetic spin on it, it was boring. It had Medusa simply being born as a gorgon, a snake-haired monster that was just evil for the sake of being evil, and that's why Perseus killed it. So when it comes to Athena and her stories, she is the kind of hero that lived long enough to see herself become a villain. And with that in mind, let's take it back to the opening statement of my video. Which type of CUN to the T was Athena? The good kind that symbolizes the word's ancient positive roots and the powerful goddesses, a word that before it was uprooted and misused shared a family tree with positive words like country, kin, and cunning? Or was Athena just a good old modern day C word? Well, I like to think that, just like the word itself, Athena is a divisive figure, and her meaning and importance changed over time and will continue to change over time. So it's not important whether she leans towards the good or the bad. What's important are the lessons we can draw from her stories that survived millennia. Stories with lessons that serve whichever purpose their times need them to. I mean, look at Medusa, who in the wake of the #MeToo movement became an important symbol of power, because at the time that's what the story needed to be. And that is the power of stories, which at the end of the day have exactly as much power as we give to them, just like the power we give to words, like the C word. So I guess it turns out that there was a deeper meaning behind the somewhat controversial title for this video after all. Who would have thought?
Not me.